Hey, welcome everyone. You guys know me. I'm Marcus from Seedify HODLers, one of the admins. It's been quite a while since we've been here, unfortunately. 2022 was a bit of a silent year, but we have a lot of projects coming up through Seedify right now. Fortunately for all of us, we're also getting a lot of AI projects right now, besides just the gaming projects. Tonight we're here with Shockwaves. They're doing the IDO tomorrow on the 28th. As you guys know, we are having a private sale and a public sale, both on the same day. So here tonight we are with Samuel and Benjamin, the CEO and CTO from Shockwaves. They're going to explain a bit more about the project, so we all know in depth what is waiting for us tomorrow, and also once the listing comes, and after that, and when the game launches. So I'm going to leave most of the chatting to them, as you guys know from as usual. For those of you that are just jumping in for the first time, Seedify has a tier system for participation in the IDOs or IGOs. There are 9 tiers. Lowest tier is for people that are holding 250 SFUND. Usually that is a lottery-based participation, but lately tier 1 holders are also lucky and get a guaranteed spot. We can't tell for sure if that's going to be the same for Shockwaves. It may happen, it may not happen. And then after that, if you're holding 1,000 SFUND or more, 1,000 is tier 2, up to 100,000, which is tier 9, you have a guaranteed allocation. So for those of you that are hopping in for the first time here, that's how the tier system works. So I'd say let's start with an introduction by Samuel and Benjamin. So could you guys say a bit more about yourselves? What is Shockwaves in a big red line about? And how did you get involved with the project, and how also did you get connected to each other?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Well, okay. So we work together since 13, 14 years. We started when we was already still at the gymnasium.
Like students, high school students, yeah.
Yeah, and we meet on internet on some project and things going rolling, and now we have a company in innovative video game. We started with VR like 7 years ago when it started, because we always have been passionate about innovation, and mostly innovation in video game, which is often where innovation found their first utility, because video game players are really technophile, and they are really enthusiastic for new things, where somewhere else sometimes people are a little bit afraid of what is new. Generally in video game, people think it's pretty exciting. So we worked in VR for a long time. We did bigger and bigger and bigger project, and we finished a little bit while doing huge world multiplayer with Road Network, Citizen, and we thought a little bit that at this point we was done with VR. We have made the biggest thing we can imagine, and started to thought, okay. Now we have nailed this. What is the next frontier of video game? And it's what lead us directly to AIs and Web3, because it's the more dynamic ecosystem right now. It's where the future is forged. Actually,
yeah, and it was always like a very interesting technologies for us, and since we're a team mostly of engineers. We've like really come all from like half of the team, more than half of the team comes from an engineering background, and so we're like really focused on like creating things that are super innovative and that really make best use for this. And yeah, I think we are super excited to launch the project because of that, because it's a way for us to really apply this in a way that completely makes sense.
Okay, that sounds cool. Yeah, so the innovative part, I think as soon as we are diving more into especially NFTs, I think we really get to that part. So when you look at yourselves as being the CEO and a CTO, and I believe Benjamin, you also have some specialism in tokenomics as well. So how are your views on blockchain gaming today? Also, if you look at the past, I think the blockchain gaming really moved forward about 2 years ago, more or less. So how do you look back to that, and how do you look at blockchain gaming today, and how do you see blockchain gaming, let's say, in 6 months or a year from now, and also related to Shockwaves?
Yeah, I think it's a market like super interesting. I think there's like the potential of it is really amazing. I mean, for like a blockchain gaming, I think there is. I feel like it hasn't reached its potential with the current what has been developed so far. I think there is like really a lot to do. I think probably it started like early on. I think people were kind of trying to find new economic models. I think sometimes there were like some kind of mistakes in some tokenomics, some like maybe unsustainable economic models that have been like issues for many blockchain games. Often like basically systems like, I mean, even though it was a huge success in many ways, I think like Axie Infinity, they had like some issues with their tokenomics where like it tended to increase too much the supply, like kind of always like a spiral of like selling pressure, etc. And I think all these are like really the main questions we've been asking ourselves for like basically the past 2 years. Like we've been like also on other projects, and we are like thinking how we can basically solve these issues and figure out ways that are really sustainable, because I mean, game economies can be very sustainable. I mean, and there have been game economies that have included that have included economic models that are similar to NFTs and tokens. If you think about like what Steam did, like a Blizzard, they've done like similar things in some ways. And I think with similar sort of economic models, I think there is like so much that can be done and very sustainable. Very like, I mean, these companies have been extremely profitable, and I think it's.
And a quick parenthesis, because you're speaking of Blizzard. Video game is at the source of many blockchain technology, because maybe you already know that Vitalik created Ethereum after a frustration about the warlock in World of Warcraft, which make you think that he would like a decentralized system for the players to be able to take their own decision. So there is always this crossing between video game and blockchain. Like if video game was at the start of the blockchain, and somehow it's very natural that now we can reach again on video game.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No.
There's no such thing as being bad and interrupting. You know, you guys are always complimenting each other and adding good things. You know, so that's really good to hear from multiple sides. Everything. Don't worry about any of that. So since you guys have like this traditional, let's call it traditional gaming background here as well, and then we have blockchain gaming. Clearly, there are some key differences. There are also things like you said, the crossover or they're similar. So could you explain some of the key differences, in your opinion, that make blockchain gaming more attractive over traditional gaming, or could make it more attractive? And then especially also, what kind of dimensions do you think that AI is going to add to this? Because you really focus on AI for Shockwaves. So how do you look at that?
Maybe we're gonna respond in 2 time, because there is for the blockchain part and the AI part. But we have really a big hope for the blockchain gaming part, because we, even if the economical model has been a little bit searching since a few months, few years, we are sure that blockchain gaming is the next free-to-play. You know, once the gaming market come from the pay-to-play to the free-to-play, there is no comeback. Everybody now want free-to-play games, and when people will really meet blockchain gaming, with the possibility to have some gain from your asset you win into the game, there will be no comeback as there is for the free to play. So there is something really passionate for us to be at this point to be like pioneer in our in video game because there is, I mean, no doubt that it will become the normal things in some years, because when you have tested it, you don't come back from blockchain gaming. So the adoption is quite slow, but it's how would say Thanos,
I think it will be kind of like, yeah, I mean, I think I see what you mean. Like it should be like kind of irreversible in some ways, because I think it really makes sense in many aspects. I mean, like first, like makes sense to like it's easier to incentivize players for doing different actions. It also like implies a lot more the community. It's a really good way to finance a project, and that creates something that is really beneficial for like investors, players, and that there is kind of less a distinction between the two. One thing we've noticed actually in many gaming projects, and ours as well as Auzols, is that often, like since like the interest of players and the ones of investors are quite different, and but like in blockchain gaming, I think it solves this, because there is like less of a distinction between like players and investors, and so I think it makes it more healthy. People really want what's best for the project.
Yeah, exactly. Because yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was pretty much it. I was about to talk about the AIs.
Yeah, and what is funny, I think it's what we said for the player who will not come back from blockchain gaming. It's true for the developers too, because the working conditions are so good and the relation with the community are so great that it's really difficult to start doing Web3 project and come back to Web2.
Yeah, like it's amazing to develop a game with like with a blockchain gaming community. It's like it's a different experience because people are really involved in it, and they've like they really act as like people who want to the project to succeed, and not just like people who want like a specific feature. So they will give proposition, they will understand business decision as well as like design decisions, and I think it's really I think it's really a healthy way to
something that proves that is that many people who was following us on other project we was developing for other company or blockchain project, they followed us on Shockwaves because they believe in us, they believe in our vision and in our way to work. While in Web2, people really stick on more on the project than on the potential of the developers. So we already can experience it, and it's really great. Maybe move to the AI.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so you guys, so you're moving to blockchain gaming from traditional gaming, and then adding AI to that. I can understand it's quite a challenge. Of course, right now AI is not just new in Web3. Like, I mean, we have blockchain gaming that was new to Web3 like 2 years ago, but now we're adding AI to blockchain gaming. But it's not just new to Web3; it's also new to Web2. Really, it's really developing with ChatGPT and all the upcoming AI projects right now. So when you're looking at that and Shockwaves and also the existing AI projects in Web3 already right now, how do you intend to differentiate from the other projects?
Yeah, I think one of the core aspects of it will be like on the AI side. I think it brings like lots of opportunities. I mean, one thing is that it solves in many ways the population problem that a lot of like your blockchain games and metaverses have. Basically, I mean, you can have like players, like kind of AIs that interact as players and that will like behave in a similar way. So even if you have fluctuation in your population, it's not really an issue, especially when you're kickstarting a project, because first you don't necessarily have a big population for like even for testing and etc. So I think it's really a good healthy way also to build for the long term. And in our project, it really made a lot of sense to integrate this to our economic models as well, because since it solves the kind of a population issue, it also moves the kind of the population of buyers from like different types of people. So you won't need to fill the game with people who would necessarily just play to earn, who would just have for unique goal to just make money, but and that wouldn't spend, so it would create which tends to create a selling pressure. But it moves toward people who are more like people who will be more involved in the economy, will be the ones who are like more likely to spend also. And I think it gives a more balanced economy, and it's way more sustainable, we believe. And so that's one aspect. Also, we use the AI for a lot of things. I mean, since like in our company, 2 people have worked, like I have a master's degree in artificial intelligence. I've done a lot of artificial intelligence before. So it's like something that always like fascinated me. And like in many aspects of it, actually, we ended up using it like because it was just for like the one core aspect of the game is that it plays with the music. So there is like a strong interaction between the music, the visuals, the gameplay. And to create this, we had to use like an artificial intelligence that's basically it's a machine learning model that extracts different components of the music and kind of analyzes them and makes it like retranscribes it for the gameplay.
Yeah. And one other really interesting aspect of the use of the AIs into the games. Stop me if I'm too long or if you over it. But attracting people is a real. We need to attract people into the game, but we need to retain them too for the ecosystem to be healthy. And as it's learning, AI is the opportunity to have a permanently renewing gameplay. Because the bots controlled by the AIs will never exactly be the same. So a player will always have a new experience. So we should keep people more longer than an usual game, and we can really think that it will become the norm in the video game industry too. Because I think what we really believe, and the more we are testing it, the more we are sure about this, is that AI will be the norm into video game really soon too. And it's really exciting to be able to do it for this project. And we think that Web3 community is really a good place to incubate this, because in traditional gaming ecosystem, things can go a little bit slower because of the process. But here, with the way things are done, we can be the first to introduce this and really have real use case for AIs into video game.
Yeah, I think the one part that was really interesting in my opinion as well is the music part. Like where you have the music influence the gameplay. I think that can be very appealing to people. People that like to listen to rock or techno, or I don't know, maybe 70s music. Or maybe even Johnny Cash for all I know. That gives a whole different kind of a game experience. I think that's going to be very interesting, and also bringing people together that share a certain love for a certain music genre. So what can people expect? Let's say they join into Shockwaves, they're loading the game the first time there. Let's say they know some basics, or let's say they know nothing. What can they expect? What are they seeing?
Yeah. So they arrive on a menu where we show we probably gonna show one of the algorithmic city with the music influencing the landscape, because it's really beautiful, and it will give it's important when people arrive to give them a wow effect with something they have never seen before in Web3 or in Web2. But after that, we'll have a really quick button to join your first game. So of course there will be an option to connect to MetaMask, but it will be as a normal option in the menu, because we want to retain Web2 players too, and try to convert them in Web3 after. Maybe we're gonna speak about this in the tokenomics part. But the important thing is, the first, you arrive on the game, you have a wow effect with the musical cities, and when you play, you have an FPS with some pretty standard controls. There is a music part which has a huge impact on the game, but if you don't understand how it works directly, it don't block you to play. So you anybody can join the game and start 30 seconds later having downloading it and enjoy it. And the complexity comes after, when you want to improve and with dedication.
Okay.
We really, actually in FPS, most of people already know how it works, most of the players, and you don't have to go through a tutorial, boring part before being able to join. And in your first game, it's full of AIs and players, of course. So you are, something that is really important is that you quickly don't feel lonely. You don't need to have this emptiness feeling that some metaverse can give.
Sure.
And it's one of the really important part of AIs, because the AIs are communicating as a real player into the chat. So the first feeling you should have when you test the game is, wow, it's full. And in Web3, it should give a pretty good impression at the beginning. And when people see that they are not alone, it really helps to keep them on the long term. Because when you arrive in a game, you see you are alone, you just leave really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there we, also partially, had the part about, when new players come in. So is there like a certain requirement for the new players? Like, do they need to make an account, or do they have to own certain NFTs, or is there something else? What do they have to do?
Yeah. So for this, they won't need, like, people won't need to. You can launch the game even without any NFT. Anything is required to be able to play. Basically, what we kind of want is that people should be able, like, anyone from Web2 who shouldn't feel bothered by anything that's blocking them to join the game. And so you won't need to have anything, but of course, you will earn less kind of rewards in the game if you don't have your own character or something. And also you weapons, if you want to trade them, if you want to buy them, you will need to connect to your wallet. This will be done on in a decentralized way. So we really want to take what's best from the blockchain part of it. So basically, people being able to sell safely the digital assets. But we also want people, if someone is from Web2, that person might not even really feel that it's a Web3 game until that person, maybe you get let's say you get a weapon, you want to sell it because it's worth $20, and then you could you can do it, and then basically in this situation maybe you will be incentivized to create a wallet and do all the tasks to be able to just sell your weapon. But otherwise you don't really need, or if you want to buy one, it's the same kind of thing. So we want to be kind of seamless between Web2 and Web3.
Okay. So everyone can basically join. They don't necessarily need to have NFTs. They can purchase NFTs if they wish to have them and play with those. Okay. So speaking about NFTs and what kind of NFTs are there? So there are AIs, characters. I believe there are lands. Could you explain a little bit more about the types that there are?
Sure. So the three first one will be the first one that will be released will be the AI characters. These are central for the games. So basically, they are characters that you can play with them as you would in many games. But there is also when you don't play them, they will play by themselves, and they will have their own personality. They have even nationality, and they will evolve. They will improve as they play. and so they are like really like kind of, and they follow the same rules as other people, and they can even interact in the chat. They have like a language model that is linked to it, so they can connect. Like, so if you talk in the chat, there's a chance that the bot will answer to you, and like that bot will have its own personality and etc. And that's something really we really wanted to make, is that this basically there is as little distinction between a real like human player and NFT and these AIs. And also like for the other NFTs we have, there will be the weapons that will come after that. They like these are like they will be like, there are many really cool like unique weapons that have like different gameplays and different like characteristics. And I think one of the really interesting NFT will launch will be the land, because like we've created a procedural like algorithm that creates cities, and so they are all unique. They all like will have like different gameplay, different look, and you will also be able to customize it. So I think it will be really a lot of fun, and it will be very interesting because you can add like your advertisement space. So I think it could create like a lot of opportunities for like brands. If they want to advertise in the game, they will be able to buy land, add their own advertisement on their map, and then people will play it. And I think that will be like a really cool dynamic.
Yeah, we should insist a little bit about the fact that all these NFTs and the AIs and all this new technological stuff are built from the beginning into the game, and the game is evolving around this technology. It's not they all work really close together to be coherent, and it's something you really need to plan the game since the beginning with all these assets if you want them to really well work together. Maybe we can speak a little bit more about the AI's NFT too, because we planned something really cool for them, because as maybe you start to see that we are a little bit technophile and NFT enthusiast, and one of our side quests, if I can say it like this, and that we want to make the coolest NFTs possible. And you know, the first NFTs there was like JPEG. After you had some video, and now sometimes you can have some kind of little WebGL, and we wanted to push this even further, and we made what we think are the first social NFT, where you are able to connect to other NFTs directly from OpenSea. So your NFT is by itself a little application with a little. It's the first of his kind, so it's quite small, but you really have a little metaverse into your NFTs into OpenSea.
Yeah, we really wanted to give like kind of a sneak peek of like what will be a little bit the game, and mostly like the kind of the environment, and make it feel like it's not. I mean, yeah, kind of give you a sneak peek. Also, it's a really good way for marketing, because it can attract other people. Like if you see these NFT, if you come from another NFT project, I think it's really a way that I think that can really promote it a lot, and it's I think it's the first of its kind. We've never seen any other project doing it.
The idea is really when people will receive their NFTs, maybe by the means while stacking, and maybe they will a little bit discover about the project when they receive the NFTs, and probably at this moment many people will see that it's not the usual project.
Yeah, I think for the NFTs we are really looking for how to make them how do you say it, better and better. You know, like you said, the JPEG is what it started with. There are still some projects that are doing that, or pixel-based NFTs, and there can still be a good hype around it. You know, but it's for gaming it's different than that. You know, for gaming they really have to have utility. They have to look awesome. You know, they have to be how do you call it, dynamic, especially I think. You know, like if you have a character, for example, you can have a character that can level up. You know, so you need to have a dynamic NFT there, I believe, or also for weapons, gears, items, lands as well. And I'm very curious to what you guys are going to launch with this basically a WebGL linked to an NFT. If I understood it from what you guys said.
It's. I mean, I think when you'll see, I think when people will see it, they'll automatically understand it. When it's explained, it's a bit confusing. But basically, you on the marketplace, you get a window with the game, where you usually see an image or something, and you can
directly use your NFT
directly, and see other players online, and everything is connected and synchronized.
I think that's really good because most of the time people go into a game and they need to have an NFT in their wallet to, let's say, get access to a certain feature in the game. And what I'm understanding here is the NFT itself is basically that feature. So you only need to connect your wallet, and then you have this specific environment where you already have access based on that NFT itself. Where the NFT is not the key, but where the NFT is the environment, basically.
I think,
and it's gonna be because we're gonna have some question about marketing after. It's gonna be a huge part of our marketing strategy. As we come from Web2 and we did a little bit experimented this. What we think brings more light on a project is to be the first one to do something really exciting, and usually it helps a lot to drive a lot of attention.
Yeah. So I think for the NFTs, we've had most part now. Would you like to say a little bit more about the lands? We already discussed the lands and where people can basically monetize the lands, put advertisements. So I think we can move on towards more token-based questions, DAO-based questions, listing, etc. So using, if I understood correctly, a one token system, a single token economy with the Neuro token. So can you explain some of the utility of the token? Also, whether you're going to implement DAO on the short term, where token holders basically have a say in certain parts that are going to happen with the game, and also if there are any other currencies, what currencies are those, and what will the utility be of those tokens in the game?
Sure. So for the utilities of it, I mean, one of the primary one will be, of course, it can act as a payment token for the game. That will be one thing, but the main thing will be the staking. I think if you stake your Neuros token, you'll get a small reward in terms of Neuros, but the more interesting part will be that you will get some NFTs. So at first, what we'll do is the staking battle. To get the first, to get the 2,000, there would be 2,222 AI NFTs, and to get 2,000 of them will be given through this staking battle. So basically, what we'll do is that the 2,000 people who stake the most will receive this whitelist for this NFT mint, and I think that will be very exciting, and later on we'll do similar things with other type of NFTs like loot boxes, etc. So I think it will. The goal of it is to give rewards that are mostly in the form of NFTs in many situations. So it benefits to the ecosystem, and they have utility in the game. And so I think it does a good bridge between the game and the token itself. Also, it will by owning the token and staking it, you will be able to participate in a DAO, in DAO votes, and also there can be even external votes for this, but that are based on your token balance and how much you're staking. And so I think it's something we really want to push as much as possible, because we want people in the community to have really as much a say in what decision we'll take for the project, for kind of mundane things like naming weapons, but also for important decisions to what should we do next, kind of which direction should the project take. And I think that's something that is really unique to blockchain, and we really want to go to that direction.
Okay, so you mentioned a little bit about the 2,222 NFTs. So and the staking battle, I also saw some posts from Seedify about it. It's going to be something really huge and interesting. And I believe it's going to be very hard to get a whitelist spot for this NFT. So you have to be a diamond holder of the token as one of the things, and be really active in the community or participate in events. And I believe we managed to get 3 whitelist spots for our hodler community. So what we are going to do before the listing is we're going to make a Twitter post about it. Like usually we can do questions asked in the AMA, but we just focus on the questions that we're doing now. So we're gonna push out this AMA and the listing for Shockwaves tomorrow on Twitter. And what the task will be is that for you guys that are watching or participating tomorrow, is that you will have to basically like, retweet the post, tag a number of friends, make sure that they also retweet and post. And then from all the people that have reposted the tweet and use the correct hashtags and tag the friends, we will choose 3 people that will be whitelisted for this NFT sale. So for all of you that are listening here, you're already aware, so you can prepare for writing a wonderful post tomorrow. For us here, let's now move to the listing and the marketing, especially the listing. There's people that have questions about that. So we know about the initial market cap for the token itself is going to be 50,000. There's going to be some liquidity. Could you explain what your plans are for the listing? If you already have a date, if you can announce it, if you cannot announce it, do not announce it. But if you can announce it, I think people would love to hear it. And also what your plans are for launching on decentralized exchange or centralized exchange. And if it's only decentralized now, do you have plans for centralized exchange shortly after or after at all in general? So what are your plans?
Sure. I think one. So we there's nothing we can announce for this like directly for like listings, but with the launch strategy that we've created with Seedify, with the help of Seedify. So we've been like really working very close with them. They've like analyzed every launch they've done before, and I think that they have like really like a super solid ways of like super solid like a tokenomics team. And so the strategy for this project is basically to launch on decentralized exchanges first. We know that like centralized exchanges can be very useful, but like since we like the strategy is to start with a very low market cap. Initially, it would be difficult to be like on a centralized exchange. That wouldn't necessarily make a lot of sense. And so since we want to go to mostly like, if we go to a centralized exchange, it should be to like a good reputable one. So that's something that will come most likely a bit later. But yeah, we're in talk with some centralized exchanges, but we cannot, like, we don't want to announce anything before anything is disclosed. And yeah, so we are like we follow this strategy, and I think it can be very, very beneficial. And yeah.
Okay. So first, decentralized exchange only. How about the marketing strategy itself? I saw you at least on the white paper right now. There's 2 partnerships, Seedify clearly, and there's also a project called Shadow Labs, and I believe they are directly related to part of the marketing plans or strategy. So can you explain a bit more? So the marketing strategy in general until, well, the IDO is tomorrow, but until the listing, but also after the listing, and how Shadow Labs is involved here.
So our marketing strategy is really to focus on why it is useful. So we plan to, I don't want to use the word attack, but to target specifically the Web3 gaming community at the start, which we know quite well because we are, as developers, we are here from some years now, and we acquire a really good reputation. So we just wait to have the project launched. So for now, we focus on the IDO, but after we will just focus on the growth of the user base to have some more sustainable economy. And for what we have seen, the best reward for efforts is to target people who are the most likely to possible
to invest, to invest or play, or
yeah. So for this, we develop a lot of tools into the game directly to help to do the partnership. We have, prepared some place for holograms, which will allow us to really quickly and easily implement graphism from partners directly into the game. We have some special assets where the skin could be changed if you have the NFT of another of a partner project. So we really build all the game ecosystem as a game, but as a marketing tool too.
Yeah, like really, I think a big part of our marketing strategy is to like build with other communities. We know there is like so many opportunities, like bring utility to other projects. The tokens or the NFTs, I think, is really a good way to go, because you immediately target the right people, and you also, I mean, I think it's just a very positive way. Like I think it brings a lot of positivity also in the marketing.
What we're gonna try and what we started to do is to reach people who are influencers into this community. Not deeply focused on global crypto influencers, but if you have someone who is a community manager on the Discord of another community, maybe go through these people, because they will be the most listened, and we will try to reach quality people. So we prefer to try to take the top 100 from another community to invest and come and join the game as active player and investors, than bringing a lot of people who will not reinvest or play the game. So going from people to people.
Yeah, I think it's
exactly. So are there any partnerships right now that not yet visible, or perhaps
some partnership already with other gaming community, but it's a little bit too soon to.
Yeah, I think we'll try to do like a good, like kind of synchronize with them to like make a really cool announcement, and I think it will be. Yeah, I think we want to do it like in a really good way, and like that will impact kind of as much as possible, do something that impacts both communities in a positive way and like create synergies.
And something that makes a partnership somehow a little bit hard to tell in some situation is with the decentralized nature of Web3, and because we can access of the NFT from everybody everywhere through the blockchain, somehow we can make partnership with the community of a project and not necessarily with the owner of the project. So it's going to be a little bit like some pirate movement somehow. And it's really interesting how we can have partnership with people who don't really agree. But it's going to be fun.
I think that's part of the dream of like blockchain, and I think is to have like decentralization, is to basically have assets. I mean, we would love to, like, if other projects want to use our NFTs, of course. Like bring utility to this, it's of course always a good thing, and that's why I think we'd like to build in kind of in this way.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
it's very important in Web3. I think what you guys have also a traditional gaming background, but I believe one of the key differences is that I at least observe is that in Web3 people like to work together, because we're also in a new space. It's it takes a high conviction, of people that are building, to grow the industry, and it's such a big change and very innovative, NFTs, blockchain, that you can't do it alone. You have to do it together. You have to like all together have this high conviction of, like we are really adding something. We are not just a hype. We are not just a temporary change. We are trying to make permanent change, to the whole gaming industry. And it may take 10 years, before the change is there, before the global adoption is there. But we know it's gonna be there, at some point, and if we do it together, it's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, it's why we want to build things with we're not going to play the number wars. We want the good amount of people, but mostly quality people, because we want the project to stay in the time.
It's really like sustainability. I think is like the center of like is our main focus. I think for the whole project.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, I think we've had most of the parts of the project itself, Shockwaves itself, the NFTs, the tokenomics. Do you guys want to add something to this particular part, or otherwise we can move to like, okay, who are you guys working with? The team behind Shockwaves, or also the team behind the games that you have already created before. If you want to add something to the project, to Shockwaves itself, and otherwise mention a bit about the team who you're working with or who's working for you.
No, I think for the project, I think we've covered most of the things. It's really, it's really amazing to see like the like how it's received, and I think like Seedify, like the work they've done. It's amazing to work with them. Like that, like internally, we're like in super close contact with them, and they've been like.
It's really a pleasure to work with them every day.
Really a pleasure. Yeah, that team is amazing,
and we hope it will really continue after the launch too.
Yeah. I think they have like they're like it's really great. They're like really committed for the long-term success of the project, and we're like. Like they're extremely knowledgeable and at the center of the ecosystem, so it's really fantastic.
For us, it was really the perfect partner to kickstart the project, because it really allows us to focus on the feasibility of the project at the beginning, because there is, with the AIs mostly, there was a lot of things to verify we can really do before really starting the project and communicating about it. And having Seedify as partner really helped us to manage the launching of the token and the development of the technology on the other end.
Yeah.
So if you have something more to say, it's really enjoyed this journey with Seedify.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have we've discussed most of it. So what we're gonna do now? So I think tomorrow, 28th is the IDO. Could you explain a bit more details, just adding for the people that are viewing this later? So the 28th is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, a private sale and a public sale. So what's the token price going to be? And what's the rough time for the private sale, and how is it going to be for the public sale?
Like this, so the token price for the IDO will be 0.02 dollars per token. The exact time, was it?
We should open the sheet now.
We've been so focused on like trying to get everything done, so I'm not exactly sure what's the absolute time. But I don't know if you have this information, but we can announce it later. I'm sorry for that.
Can we say at least for the KOL?
But I think there is like we've been. Yeah, I think we'll like launch this, and yes.
Do we open?
Okay. I think I think Seedify probably announced it. Sorry, we've been so focused on trying to get everything like perfect running and testing. So yeah.
But you have everything on the sheet.
Okay.
I think they are more or less public.
Yeah.
But just for the KOL, do we say that?
Actually, one thing that is like really cool for this project. We've wanted like to work with like influencers, and I think that's something that was important, and like Seedify has a really great network of it, and it's really impressive that in actually the idea round, a big part of it will be from influencers that will actually buy tokens the IDO price, and with a similar conditions as the normal IDO stakers. And so I think it's a really cool dynamic, because then we integrate KOLs that are really involved in the project.
That means that they will speak about it because they believed in it, they invest in it, and it's not they receive something for it. I think they will win a lot with that. But
exactly, they are really incentivized to work in the long term for the project. They won't just dump, and I think that's really. That's
one of the most interesting, new things in the tokenomics, and for the other details, you will see round by round into the sheets. We could do comments about that, but I don't know if it will be really bring something.
No, that's all good. I think the IDO itself, the public sale, is going to be at 1 p.m. UTC. That's at least what Seedify always does. For the private sale, I also have to admit I have not yet checked the time. Most likely it's going to be before. And for a private sale, it's going to be 0.0185, I believe, for the price. So slightly lower than the public IDO price. I believe public has 10% TGE release. Private sale has 5% TGE release. Both have 2 months cliff. And then I believe for the IDO, if I'm not mistaken, has 10 or 12 months vesting. And then the private sale, if I'm not mistaken, 12 or 18 months, somewhere around there. But regardless, the details can be found in the Seedify announcements, and every detail will be there. All information will be announced before the sales. So actually, we still had a question coming in last minute from someone in the community. So it's going to be the following. It's about the milestones. So do you have any key target milestones that you would like to talk about for Q2?
Sure. I think some of the essential part. What we will do, we planned for the game itself. I think that will be one of the first things we'll do. In the next couple of weeks after the TG, it will the game will start testing. So it won't be the full launch in sense of the really final release of the game, but we'll start doing alpha testing with the community. And I think that will be an important milestone. We want to develop the game as much as possible with people who are invested in it, so we can make it as good as possible, and test also the AI features to see if everything works as it should and how we can improve it. And later on, for the release of the final launch of the game itself, it will be we're planning to do it on Q4 of this year, and this might change, but if we change it, it will be true. We'll do it in accordance with what the community wants. But I think it should be that's a really achievable time, and we wanted to do something where we can basically we don't want to overpromise on anything. We really want to say exactly what we can do and test everything.
It was really important for us to include AIs and the music and all these things before thinking about the IDO, because we are maybe sometimes a little bit too. We really want to secure what we announced in general, and we don't promise so much, but we reveal a lot.
Exactly. Okay, thank you for that. So I just want to get back a little bit. Also, you just mentioned it now, that music. So someone in the community was asking. The music is impacting the gameplay, as we discussed. But the question is, why are you including the music as a part of the game in the current concept?
So I think one of the reasons, there are I think two main reasons. One is first off, we want the game to feel really good. When you play, it's you play within with the music. It really creates a kind of a synesthesia with you feel really in sync with the music, and I think that's a really cool feeling. Also, it makes the images of the game look really interesting. So if someone is streaming, you see that things are kind of behaving in sync, and it looks like a trailer, and basically when people are playing normally, even gameplay, raw gameplay, will look really cool. And that's also part of, it's kind of a way to integrate marketing is in the project itself.
Yeah, we already think all part of the project as a game, but as marketing tools. And something we have seen in Web2 that is really important if you want a project to succeed, you need that at each picture of the game, people think, oh, I have not seen that before. I mean, if your game just looks like a ripoff of Call of Duty, but of course less good because you don't have you don't have 100,000 person working on it, it's not what we want to do. We want to do something that is the best of its kind, and that means doing something particular to don't be, like another game, but in Web3, because we want to target Web2 too. So we need the project to differentiate for others. And I mean, music is so cool. There was use case for AIs. You developed so cool shaders. I mean, it was.
I think it really made sense for us, and we've worked before with Deezer, which is a music company, and they've worked on basically how to integrate music into gameplay, and that was a really good experience to see with these companies, and we know that there would be a lot of partnership opportunities from it.
Exactly, partnerships are really important for the development of the project, and we want them to be organic. And for what you have seen at the beginning of the NFT waves, the biggest sales in terms of visibility was one from Snoop Dogg and Justin Bieber, and you really can see how music really drives the NFT market forward. And we wanted the game to allow us to do natural partnership in this sector because it's so important.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for adding on that part as a request from the community. I believe we have all the questions done that came from the community right now. I think we discussed everything. We discussed the IDOs happening tomorrow. So I think we're all prepared for that. Okay. I would like to say thank you both, Samuel and Benjamin, for being here with us, taking your time. I know it's not only I can understand, I know how busy it can be before a listing, and it's already happening, before an IDO, and it's already tomorrow. So I can imagine the stress you're going through, making sure everything is fine, that there are no issues, all the communication are good, the marketing is good, and then work towards the listing, which is going to add even more stress, prepare everything. So thank you very much for taking your 1 or 2 hours time to be here and also prepare this. So yeah, thank you everyone also for watching.
It was a pleasure to meet you, pleasure to discuss, and
don't hesitate anybody to join us on Discord and ask us any question directly. We are really active here and will be really more in the next hours. So don't hesitate to join us. It will be a pleasure, and to see all the assets we prepared to show you how cool is the game, what is inside the box, because we are proud of what we done. So don't hesitate to cast.
We definitely will be there. And also, let's not forget everyone to keep an eye out on our Twitter tomorrow before the IDO to see the post if you want to have a chance for a whitelist spot for these unique NFTs. And also, if you are here for the first time and you want to be notified about our next AMAs, make sure to subscribe here on our YouTube channel. And then for now, I want to thank Samuel and Benjamin again for being here, and all the luck preparing for the IDO tomorrow and the listing after that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Marcus.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Cheers.